Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be continuing with Sovereign Syndicate. We're in the shoes this time of Teddy Redgrave, Monster Hunter. We've had a bit of a run-in with, well, used to be a person, but had become quite monstrous through augments and something, other weird sort of mutation stuff going on, so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that. But what are we going to do first? It says get the wrench from Dante, claim the bounty, okay. I might go to... Let's go to the docks, and we'll see Dante. And we'll get the wrench from him. I think I've read that. Alright, so Dante is down the wharf. Or he was. Talk to the ruffian. Hey, this cove doesn't hardly fit the... Hang on. This cove don't hardly fit part of a stevedore. Wonder what he's doing on the wharf. Was he Irish? Great and dwarf. And who's your mechanical friend? Theodore Redgrave, Monster Hunter Extraordinary, your service. This here's Otto. I think that piece of cloth around your head is rather fitting. What color is it? Oh, it's grey, obviously. Oh, my automaton does not have visual circuits in place to process color. Said you were a monster hunter. What can I do for you? Oh, just passing through. Do you own the boat behind you, or do you just get paid to stand guard? Why, she's mine, all right. My pride and joy, she is. We could do an ingenuity check. Need a 7 or more. 11. Not bad, not bad. The crates near his vessel bear Canadian stamps, and I'd wager they're not being seen by the port authorities. This would be the infamous Green Street, I'd imagine, providing gin, that aqua vita to the masses, without governmental oversight. And it's closed at the tavern. No chance Molly doesn't have her claws in this. So, you'd be Green Street then. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. See, my reputation precedes me. Well, not as such, but yours truly has also found a way into Molly's employ, now and then. Well, if Molly's throwing capital around, why not have a piece? Oh, so we've both been under the yoke for Molly before. I'm not sure I follow. Or let's not straddle the fence, or choice of employment isn't always above board. Maybe, maybe not. Due to that, you and I have got a little kinship. What the bobbies don't know don't hurt them, eh? Perhaps, perhaps. Oh, that's done it. This cove is shady as they come, for now at least. He sees me as an equal. Might I inquire about your, own personal fortunes? They ain't what they ought to be, I don't mind telling you. Folks don't respect the honour of an old-fashioned bribe anymore. What is the world coming to? Between this and import shortages, pretty soon I might not be able to fuel my ship at all. Oh, meticulous. You know, I've heard tell of a new capacitor for that make of boat. Oh, really now? Do go on. Oh, experimental polyethylene technology makes the engine more efficient. Or, to be precise, 32.33% more efficient. Repeating, of course. Of course. Ooh, thank you, Otto. Brilliant. If you're interested, me collie Dante across the way might be able to get his hands on one. They'll give old Ziegler something to sing his chops into that doesn't involve Lord Braxton. I may just take you up on that, friend. Well, Otto and I should be moving on. Nice talking to you, Green Street. No rest for the wicked, eh? Thanks for the advice. Now, Dante was here before, so I don't know where he's gone to. The boilerplate reads, Arsenal Engines... The boilerplate reads, Arsenal Engines Warehouse. If it held anything of especially great value, I bet it would have also included the words, trespassers will be dealt with on site. He did have that shop though, didn't he? Now, where was that? That was... in Beggar's Alley, I think. A heap of vitrified matter left over from ore smelting or steel production. Okay. Now, I'm not going to just talk to all the same people I did before as Clara, because, well, we've already done that. So let's go to... Yeah, let's go back to Beggar's Lane, because I think that's where Dante's got his shop. I just presumed I'd find him at the docks like I did for Clara. But here's his shop. Dark inside. Who knows when he'll open up. Oh. Where is he then? Oh. Have I looked at the old socks? I probably did. Yeah. Okay, in that case, let's go back to our workshop and we can have a look at this upgrade thing. Lots of things to do on this workbench. What should I look into first? We tried taking a gander at Otto's components. Right, where can I install into our resident automaton? Also got to make sure I've got a couple of gears on me for fitting each component on Otto. We can install high pressure regulator. Ooh, this regulator valve is different from Arsenal Engine's usual design. Looks like a prototype, yet sturdier than anything Lord Braxton's devised. Alright, Otto. Sturdier actuator pistons should make your limbs more capable. Happy to report that it's been properly installed. My ability to lift heavy items is no longer up the spout. Goodness knows he could stand to do more work around here. Workbench. Alright, let's study what's left of Sucker Jones. Oh, let's take a gander at the late but unlamented Sucker Jones's mechanical arm. I don't know if we can do all of these or just one, but we'll start with the one we're best at anyway. What's it made of anyways? Similar to the smaller components, a good old-fashioned steel, but the composition of the main structure is unfamiliar. I believe steel is still the base, but the alloy or alloys are a mystery. Could it be that someone's found a way to create a titanium alloy? I've heard rumours it's in the works. Alright, well, we'll do these other checks then. Test its strength. Womp womp. Damn it all, can't do anything with it. The input valve isn't only too small for my steam line, it seems to be a non-standard gauge and thread. That's one very irritating way to protect your designs from duplication, I suppose. Alright, let's try this one. Ah. Perhaps I could reconfigure it to use it myself. Ridiculous, it's much too large for my frame, but there is some very fine machinery in the socket where it meets the stump. With all the gore from Sucker's demise, it's hard to be sure, but I believe this augmentation was actually embedded in his flesh. That's certainly new. Well, that's enough fiddling for now. Perhaps I can get more insight from Dante. Uh-oh, take a picture of this arm so we can show it to Dante. Done! In my journal, is there any clue where to find Dante then? Ah, he could be at the bathhouse. Okay, well we know he's not at the wharf, so let's go and check the bathhouse, which is in this map. Well, not this workshop map, but Red Lantern Lane, I mean. There we go, let's try this. If Red Lantern Lane is full of unseemly sights, then the bathhouse is something of an oasis. I think I've read this. I've read all that. There's no different text here, I don't think, to the previous time. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Do we want to go into the changing area? Towels and bathrobes disarrayed in cubbies. No need for this right now. Shall we have a bath? Get our hope up a bit? The proprietor keeps the water a mite below scalding all through the day, and provides a supply of rose petals, bath salts, and the like for the discerning customer. Ooh, just the thing I need. Now where's that strigil? Alright, Otto, now help me in the bath while I take my leg off. We can get you all cleaned up later. Did I get any more? Did I get hope for that? I think I did, because he was pretty low before. Now get the bounty. That should be in here as well, but let's talk to Dante first. How goes it, Teddy? Here for business or pleasure? You know us, Dante. It's always a bit of both. Ah, true enough. True enough, Otto. So tell me, Teddy, what's on your mind? I don't want to purchase a cog. Can I borrow a wrench? Before I forget, I need to borrow a steam-powered long wrench, the kind with an adjustable socket. Sure, I'll pick it up next time by Arsenal. Come see me then. But what do you need it for? You're hiring out as a steam mechanic now? Not at all. Just get up to a bit of mischief. As much as I trust Dante, I can't afford to have him throw a spanner into my endeavours. Pun intended. Right, let's work down. Discuss my augmentations. Listen, can I have a word with you about my augmentations, dwarf to dwarf? Oi, what's troubling you? Is it rust again? What happens? I'd bust him one in the chops. Och. Said he's Scottish. Well, he's still Cornish in my playthrough. Oh. Och. I have to remember who my friends are. Hilarious. It's the leg again. I'm having a bugger of a time with it. Comfort or function? Both. Talk about uneven gait. Every time I adjust the gait to match my good leg, it all works fine for a day or two, till I jar it in some way. Nothing serious, mind. Quick stepping out the path of a carriage is enough to set it awry. Embarrassing is what it is. Then I'm rolling down the street again like an old sea dog fresh off the boat. Well, if you can't keep it calibrated properly, it may need to be rebuilt altogether. I consider a better alloy than plain steel, too. Oh, blast, that'll be expensive. Or, I know a whaler setting out in a fortnight. It's a 4-year tour and you'll stink of blubber the whole time, but, oh, enough. Next time I'll find myself a bloody magpie to ask for advice. Always want to pull my leg, Dante. You're good then? There's something else. I don't know why it's going Irish. There's something else I wish to discuss. Implants can be a double-edged sword. Mention the eviction notice. I recently received a rather unpleasant notice from your employer. I'm being evicted from the clock tower. You mean to say the note came from Arsenal? What do you mean? According to the tube message, the clock tower somehow came into Arsenal's hands, and they mean to give me the boot for the betterment of their empire, it said, or something like that. Yeah, that last bit does sound like the communications department. Well, don't take it personally. They've acquired half the East End already, and it sounds like the notices have gone out for the rest. Company's spreading like a distillery fire. I could try weary or worse. Oh, and just about as welcome. Cost of progress, I'm afraid. Spoken like someone who's not about to lose their home. I could do the pain one. The seat in my hip socket's never fit quite right. The pain is unbearable sometimes. Oh, let me take a gander at your harness. Seems like you like to cinch it up to this notch here. Boy, that's where it's most comfortable. Well, the wee hole is all stretched, isn't it? The strap is to be replaced. I'd suggest with a wider band and a double notch for less wear. Hey. The Scottish text is throwing me off a little bit with the accent I'm doing. You go, good eye. No. We'll have to get to that sometime. And mind you don't overdo it on the pain medicine. I've seen many a good dwarf fall down that hole. Well, you know it, my friend, but it's good advice anyway. You all good then? Wait, there's something else I wish to discuss. Implants can be a double-edged sword. Get his opinion on the mechanical arm. Oh, show him the picture you took of Sucker's arm. Understood. What the? That bloody thing is massive. Did you swipe it from one of the cargo loaders at the wharf? Believe it or not, one of Molly's dockhounds was using that gadget to shake down old ladies and reach things from my shelves. This is no joke. Take a closer look. Oh, it's fine workmanship. That much is plain. Where did it come from? Is it one of Arsenal's? I have to say it must be. No one else is working on prosthetic technology that advanced, at least not in this country. But access to the experimental branch of augmentations is highly restricted, and I don't have it. But you can snoop around all day, find anything on the sly? Bluntly, no. The boss is very cautious, even paranoid about espionage. If I got caught wandering around the wrong sector, I'd like us not get sacked on the spot. How do you suppose Molly O'Malley came to possess it? Can't rightly speak to that, though my employer doesn't scruple to work with the common folk when it comes to field testing. Though he might reconsider that approach, seeing as how this wonder just fell into your hands. How did you come by it, anyway? I fell in the course of a contract. Don't worry about the former owner, he don't need it no more. So who did you murder, and did they have any vengeful relatives or acquaintances? No one of consequence, and it wasn't murder. It was as much a mercy as putting down a rabid dog. Anyway, you know what my job entails. One thing to know about the hunting trade, another to partake in it. Alright, I'll ask around elsewhere. I'm looking for Bixby about a contract. Well, he was here this morning, should be back any time. What do you need Bixby for? Another monster bounty? Aye, but the last job was a bloody mess. Well, you captured my quarry down sewer in the pump house. The Lego trap made it easy enough, but the bloke had been subject to an awful procedure, and he mutated into something so sickening I'm afraid I can't describe it. Any ideas what was behind it? Not a new kind of infection, I hope. Can't say for sure, but I shudder to think what could happen if the affliction were catching. Whatever it was, the fellow's better off dead. Oh, what horrors. I prefer to stick with machines. They're at least somewhat more predictable. Amen to that. For me, it was just a day's work, nothing more. Indeed. Speaking of work, I've been enjoying my time at Arsenal Engines thus far. My boss bears great ambitions for manufacturing even more advanced kinds of finished mechanisms and mechanical parts. I'd be eager to take a look at your company's inner workings. Come find me down at the wharf and I'll introduce you to my new employer. There's something special I've been working on as well. What do you think about that, Otto? Fancy an upgrade? Currently functioning at 100%. Efficiency optimal. Not what one would call brilliant conversation. Not yet. It's been years since I designed his speech processor and I've never had time to improve it. I'm not surprised to hear that. Swapping out punch cards for every new set of instructions is a nightmare. This product we've been developing does wonders in that regard. Sounds like it'd be worth the trip. How can I say no when you're that excited? Excellent. I'll see you at the wharf. Oh, here comes Bixby. I can't remember his voice. There you are, Mr. Redgrave, and Dante, you look well. Good to see you, Mr. Browncoat. But as it happens, I was on my way out. I'll catch up with you gentlemen later. Take care now, Dante. Busy man keeps his head above water. Now then, Mr. Redgrave, I trust my little assignment went smoothly. Oh, the monster in the pump house was more monstrous than most. He was some kind of shapeshifter, but no werewolf. Not a wolf man, you say? Well, I don't believe there's a name for what he was. The fellow was in human form when he stumbled into my trap, and we had a wee chat. You're not saying you conversed with a living monster? He was in a weakened state when Mr. Teddy began to interface with the man you both refer to as a monster. Aye, Otto drew him out of the shadows where he was hiding, and he put himself at mortal risk besides. I was not afraid, Mr. Teddy. But in the end, I had to put him down anyway. Here, take a look at this plate. Otto produced the image. Oh, hideous. I've never seen anything like it, and for that I'm grateful. Sweat beading his brow. He looks more ill at ease than I've ever seen him. Gory job that, but well done. Here's for your efforts. £8. Very nice. Cool. Much obliged, Bixby. I'd offer you a bonus if I were boss, but of course, you know I'm only the broker. The thrill of the hunt is paying enough for me. That and a tin, I mean. We must have a drink to celebrate the success before you rush off to the next. First shout's on me. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does, and that is his. We're back to Atticus Daley. Having been roughly roused from drunken oblivion in Beggar's Lane, a masked stranger compelled you to pay a visit to the Red Lotus. There, he revealed that your mother Matilda may still be alive. You've reached a new bottom, but perhaps this is the motivation you need to start climbing back up. Daylight streams through the window in your garret. You must have slept a long time. Woken from the tremors of a terrible gin hangover, you remember that the masked stranger gave you an ultimatum last night. Recall a few childhood memories or take a deadly dose so that he could collect the bounty on your head. You sailed back to Sacred Heart Orphanage on an opium dream, but the images swim away from you now in the sleepy dawn. Today you must return to the orphanage and see if your mother's name is still on file. If it is, then you have a chance to save her from the mental institution where she is apparently being held.
Your hovel is dim-lit even at daybreak. The morning light is pale, suffusing the room with a bluish haze.
She's so poetic in the morning. Good thing I cut back on the gym for once. After all the opium last night, getting clear-headed again will be hard enough. I've no time for poetry. I'm a minotaur. Hey, what's this in my pocket? A bank draft for 40 shillings. Huh. The stranger must have handed it over when he brought me home from the Red Lotus. The magician. We've acquired the humility trait. Oh, and there's something else as well. The Magician Tarot card. Must be one of the strangest, mysterious gestures, for I'm not sure it has any tangible function. Having it with me, though, I do feel a newfound sense of humility. Any road, the bank draft might come in handy. Oh, but it's just a bit of paper. It's not liquid capital. I couldn't spend it down at the Palladium. But a more formal establishment would accept the bank draft. Clearly the stranger has something in mind that I haven't grasped. Speaking of bits of paper, what was it I saw in that dream? Let's try to recall. Let's remind ourselves of Atticus. So he's very good at wit and self-discipline, not so good at animal instinct and spryness. Okay, good to know. So this is not too bad. Eloise handed me a note in my mother's script. On the off chance that it's still in the records at the Sacred Heart, I'd better find it. Okay. Have a look around our abode. Stuffed with straw and covered with muslin. Does a fair job, as long as I'm bone tired. It's too early to sleep yet. The inside of the Earl de Boeuf is dusty. So what's that? Earl is eye... Boeuf is beef. Eye of beef. It's dusty and the outside is patinaed with smoke from the factories. But the glazing bars are well made and the double panes keep the frost out. How about flicking the snib? Could use some fresh air. Alright, crack it open. Shall I ponder the scenery? Why not? I could use a break. In the distance is the docklands, where the boil and bluster of steam power reigns supreme. The hammer and nail of burgeoning industry, and the bleating cry of air horns on the steam freighters at the wharf. Deliverance for something, but what exactly? Let's do wit. Deliverance from the humdrum repetition of routine. Progress is progress, no matter what form it takes. We're up to optimistic, how about that? Any road, it was nice to have a moment to myself. Dust rises up in a beam of daylight, reminding you how reliably unclean your desk is. Me and my tendency to neglect things. Hear, hear. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a desiccated vellum, dried up reservoir pens and a few glass jars. Imitation vellum, I hope. The real stuff is made from calf skin. My poor brothers. No lauding them anyway, that's for the best. Not even some powder cocaine in the cracks. Nothing to raise a hair, not with my tolerance, but there's something small here at the back of the drawer. Your mother's ring, the only heirloom you ever had, a silver band with a small sapphire. It was folded in your blankets when you arrived at the orphanage. Instead of pawning the ring to cover my costs, Eloise let me decide what to do with it. This ring knows more about my mother than I do. I saved it all these years, never knowing what to do with it. Well, let's take it. I better take this with me. Could be useful. Wardrobe. Oh, what's this god-awful thing again? Good place for your garments, dear fellow. A respectable cove must be able to dress for any occasion. A well-tailored waistcoat is held in high regard. Rubbish, those fancy jacks can turn up their noses, but in the end it's confidence that matters. Why is this wardrobe talking to me? This wardrobe has seen many sots come and go. So many hearts spilled on pages by starving poets that it must have soaked up those emotions and developed some of its own. I'd like to believe that, otherwise it's another voice in my head. The wood panelling shakes as I open the sticky door. Careful, Anselina will charge me. How could I forget, my landlady's got the eyes of a hawk. Inside the wardrobe is a wasteland of dust and spiders. Some time ago, my racks were replete with the finest silks, satins and linens, bespoke waistcoats and pantalettes softer than lambskin. Do I sense bitterness from this wardrobe? The wardrobe is upset, and it's no small wonder. I sold all my outfits to pay for the last bender. Oh, it was fantastic. Anyhow, I picked up a nostrum to detoxify. Right, I've got a bone to pick with that peddler. Nothing but salinated water and snake oil. Ended up needing an emergency dose from Bixby.
Babbling to yourself again? Well, I wish you'd fix the cracks in my fastenings. It's rather drafty. Yeah, we could cast our illusion.
Only thing to do here is cast my illusion.
And the thing he says. Okay, good.
Bully, still haven't lost me edge.
I can put my Sandhog uniform in as well. Let's do that. Look at these rags. Perhaps if you didn't pawn off every passable piece of clothing for opium and gin, you would look and smell less like a vagrant.
Perhaps if I abstained for a while, I'd stop hallucinating that my furniture can speak. The withdrawals would be a damn sight worse. A sink would be outside, clamouring to get in. Let that sink in.
I want to come and look at this note.
What's this?
A note from Aunt Selina. She must have left it while I was out.
It reads, "Don't delude yourself into thinking I forgot about your rent. If you don't want me to come knocking, then you'd better pay up soon. Oh, that woman won't quit nagging me."
Atticus, Aunt Selina's been a fair landlady. You don't want to get thrown out on the street, do you?
Oh, that crone won't quit either. I'd better take care of my outstanding rent to Aunt Selina. It's not all that much tin, and a roof over my head is a necessity. I'll get the money somehow.
How much rent do we owe, does it say? We'll leave some of those active. Well, tracked, I mean. Okay, what's the bookcase? Right then, lovely smell of books and all that, but don't you have any other interests aside from magical lore? How about a novel?
Stories? Nah, thanks. I tend to get lost in them.
Okay, very good. Right. Now, I appear to be stuck on this wardrobe. He'll only turn to look. Okay. But I can click on the outside, so let's do that. Think of a condemned side alley in a poor part of London, where the public services are infrequent and children play in the filthy streets, unwatched by their parents working all day at the factories. Cheap wooden shutters hang from the shattered holes of looted tenements, like so many black eyes after a night of bar fights. Old rags stretch along the clotheslines, and rats make a home in the rubbish. Aside from your garret and the curio shop, there isn't much worth visiting here, leaving you to tread the mucky road with your collar to the wind, looking just about as hopeless as the residents themselves. Oh, okay.
A weather-beaten receptacle for disposing of refuse. Should I like to reduce the general filth of the East End? I can rid myself of any unwanted items here.
Nothing there. Unusually clear puddle.
There's a smell of burnt tallow in the air. And a wash tub in the rubble. Perhaps it was a laundry, and they forgot to pay Molly her protection money last month. No. This looks to be just a house, but this room may have been the washroom. Even if there was anything salvageable in the rubble, it'd take a team of oxen to lift this crossbeam. I'm bloody strong, but not that strong.
I want to go look at this.
An uncommonly handsome specimen of Homo sapien gazes up from perfectly still water. How did I ever let things slide for so long? I'll get back to the straight and narrow. I must get back. I used to hustle quite a crowd with my sidewalk magic shows. Didn't earn enough to buy myself a title, but it was an honest living. No time for that now. I was clear up my business with the orphanage. After that, well, we'll see.
We could go in the curio shop. Oh, Francelina. Okay, yeah. We've met her. Let's just talk to her. The silver-haired woman bores holes in me with her eyes. Have I done something to upset her? I can't recall. Psst, you and that cheap illusion. Don't think you can hide from me, Atticus. Well, so much for fooling her. All jesting aside, have you come with the coin you owe me for the monthly rent? Well, not as such. I've heard that one before. Now quit loitering at counter. Have you come across any tasty gin varieties while collecting curios? Given your penchant for drinking, I'm surprised you didn't notice my newest find right here. Then again, liquor can do all sorts of things to your sight. Oh, is it actually pink, or are my eyes failing me? I just added some more colouring to it to make it look appetizing and get people to notice it more easily. 3 shillings. Yeah, alright. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. As if I don't have standards to uphold with the goods I sell. About that pink gin. What about it? Oh, well, I've already bought it. I was just basking in our warm rapport. Alright, you cheeky gimcrack. You got nothing more to say, then off with you. Loot box. A wooden crate engraved with the insignia of a strange instrument. Ah, you weren't supposed to find that. No matter. I doubt you'll be interested. Why is that? Because I don't know what's inside. You'll have to buy it to find out. Only 5 shillings. How much do I have? 14. Yeah, go on then. I'll take it. Pleasure doing business. What's in it? A box full of cosmetic doodads. Useless. Oh well. Maybe we'll find a use for it. Okay, where do we want to go? Well, we don't really have any reason to go anywhere except the cable street. Let's do that. The Sacred Heart Orphanage sits on a piece of land off Cable Street, gifted to the parish by a noble family who left for the countryside. Now, I've read that. Well, I think the only new bit is just the landscape is even more neglected than when you lived here. Yeah. Okay, we'll have a look around here in case there's anything of use. This sack could hold a great quantity of grain without tearing. Quality workmanship. Yeah, you see them everywhere. Grain sack weavers must be among the most underappreciated artisans. Pristine, well-kept horse-drawn carriage. It's hard to beat the elegance of the classics. Better to embrace change. This one's probably owned by old money. Well, let's check the compartment, eh? Ah, it's not locked, but it looks like somebody else looted it before I had a chance. Clara! Clara's probably stolen everything that we could have got as Atticus. Let's have a look at the broken automaton. Rusted and cast aside, it isn't worth more than his weight in scrap metal. Scavengers must have picked out whatever in the workings were valuable. Now he's just a shell. The poor fellow's really been through the ringer.
Hold up a tick, isn't there something you're forgetting?
Huh? What's that?
To have any chance at all of getting a peek at your records, you first need to prove who you are, and you're currently in your human form.
Oh yes, of course. Time for my incantation. Oh, okay. There. Now on to more pressing matters. I'm going to have a quick look around the rest of the map before we go there. We have been here with Clara. There might be differences. No. Okay, let's go straight into Sacred Heart Orphanage then. Got a nasty scrape on that gate years ago. Glad it's open now. Got some gears and cogs. Take that.
Splintered and worn down, like everything else around here.
Oh.
Bloody crow, cobbers on the watch. Patience, I just have to use my wits to get inside. Or scare him off.
Yeah, but we'll have a look around a bit first. Might be we can sneak in through the cellar.
Ah, the good old cellar door. I can make my way inside without a key, though I'd have to get past that padlock first.
Very unlikely. Okay, I don't want to lose hope again by failing all these checks. But we might be able to take a more subtle way in. Well, as in talking our way in. Come down here first. Huh, let's go this way. We'll check all this stuff. Leo's Memorial.
Leonardo Leo Longo, deceased 1868. Oh, rest in peace, old friend. Wish I'd been around for you when it happened. I wonder what happened really. Maybe there are some records around here that would say how he died. This child's soul had long departed by the time they were buried. There was no sense in christening them.
Few things are as frightening as having nothing to be remembered by.
Good thing I escaped before they could bury me in an unmarked grave. It's doubtful I'm headed for a glamorous funeral now, though, unless I change a few things. The headstone sits quietly in the mossy earth. This woman was kind to me, no matter the dark thickets of trouble I wandered into. I'm overtaken by a chill in the air. What is that weird shimmering? Ooh. Sister Eloise Lamel, she helped me listen to a deeper heartbeat, one born out of aether, possessed with the gift of magic. I might be able to bring Eloise close to this world, if only for a few moments.
There we go. Ah, nice.
There, I've done it, but her speech is rather faint, no louder than the rustling of branches overhead.
Uniquely poised to deal with the troubles befalling the unfortunates of the Docklands.
For a flickering instant, I saw her face.
Not just the orphans, but the crowded poor of the tenements, beset by illness, and the midnight streetwalkers, so easily snatched up for dissection, so that a young doctor might make his qualifications. The wagons rattle through the slums by night, and under the soiled sheets, stiff, suffering forms with no family to claim them. Easy prey cut to pieces in the name of healing generations yet unborn. Is that when they were sort of stealing bodies to practice like surgery on?
Oh yeah, that was her all right, and the blasted crone. But the voice was cold and distant, the words garbled. I can't make sense of this anymore. It's nothing but my imagination now. Eloise is gone, if indeed she was ever here. Judging by the engraved record, this old blockhouse is a family of four. Must have been the lord of the land and his family. They all died in the same year. A not uncommon occurrence in those times, thanks to the plague. The land was no doubt donated afterwards to Sacred Heart. But what's this? A silver cufflink with Royal Navy insignia and the initials GF.
Well, we know who that is. Take it.
I suppose I could always find the rightful owner later.
Yeah. We know who it is. Well, Atticus doesn't, but I know who it is. Gyrokite. Washed up on shore and half buried in silt, a flying machine sticks out of the water.
Oh, there's some sort of mechanical artifact embedded in the machinery. I haven't the mind for all that engineering hoo-ha.
Oh, maybe Teddy will come here at some point.
Based on the abundance of rust and errant hobnails, the orphans must know well enough to avoid this contraption. Oh, an insufferable pair, I can already tell. Couple of biters with piss-poor attitudes. Don't be so judgmental. I was just as rowdy at their age. These two are mulling around the swing set, where the other orphans seem to be giving them a wide berth.
Give me the dice, Horace, you dullard. It's my turn to roll. Shut up, Trudy. You had your turn.
Horace and Trudy appear to be playing a game of dice. Chucko luck, I'd say, though it's hard to tell. Best stow your game before those bobbies get a gander.
Piss on the bobbies. What they'll do? Throw us in the slammer for taking this trollop's matchsticks? Yeah. Wait a minute, who are you anyway?
My name's Atticus Daley, former resident of this fine institution.
Is that right? We've never had a stirk drop in here before.
Stirk is a young bull or cow.
I bet the sisters were right scared of you back in the day.
I was wondering if the two of you could help me pull one over on old Susanna. I need to get into the office.
Listen, if you was back here in the day, then you should know that things never change. Why don't you nip into the shed back there? Might open all sorts of doors for you.
Okay. Ask about what's happened around these parts lately.
Did something rum occur near the orphanage recently?
Horace, I don't think he looks like a copper now, does he? Never can tell, but he's certainly not a centaur, so that's the point on the scale in the right direction. Should we tell him? Yeah, why not? He'll find out sooner or later if he's sniffing around for long enough. All right, dead of night, up in the dorms, see? 3 big luggers came and nipped little Julie from her bed. So off goes Bertie chasing her, and so they nipped him too. Sakes alive, it was better than the halfpenny show at the promenade.
Appreciate the information.
Anytime, Mr. Atticus. Now that's a funny name.
Be seeing you then.
Not if we see you first. Yeah, watch out if we see you first. Might get pelted with a chestnut out of thin air. Now, where'd I leave that slingshot?
Let's talk to the twins.
2 identical twins are speaking in low voices. They look up and squint suspiciously as I approach.
Hey, keep your distance. What do you want, mister?
Relax, boys. I grew up in Sacred Heart here, just like you.
You're an orphan too, eh? What'd you do now? Ragpicker by look of him. Any road looks harmless. I'm Virgil and this is Sydney. He's the ugly twin. Can it, Virgil? I'll beat the tar out of you. Sounds like their parents left these younglings' lives before they had time to teach them manners.
All the sisters had to drop the etiquette classes.
Let's do a skill check. Even with a 1, not bad.
I don't have a regular job at the moment. I'm just trying to track down my real mum, and there's some papers inside Sacred Heart that might help me.
Oh, aye? Well, if you wanted to get in the office without being spotted, you could use the cellar door. Keys in the shack in the yard.
Oh, very helpful, thank you.
Good, okay. Stone bench.
Here's where I used to sit with Eloise. Brings back waves of nostalgia, but nothing else useful. The same angel from my opium dream, more weathered than in my memory.
Right, so I don't think we've been down the path down here, so let's just have a little trip down here, see if there's anything else. It's just that secondary gate. Okay. Right, well, let's go to the shed. We'll grab the key. We'll go in the cellar door. I'm not even going to talk to the policeman. We'll sneak in.
Key should be in here somewhere along with the deal of spiders. Dark in there. I don't like it. Oh, this will just take a moment. The keys weren't even hidden. Right on a hook behind the door. I should probably return these later on, maybe to someone in charge. Someone who might even hide them a little better. Any road, I'll be able to use the cellar door now.
Good. Let's go do that very thing.
The good old cellar door, so let's slip in this way. Let's go.
Through the creaking hatch and down the narrow wooden steps, you descend into an equally narrow passage. You hold your breath a moment against the cloying smells of earth and vermin, and trail one hand along the wall during your brief sojourn in the dark. But soon enough you found the second set of stairs and a welcome sliver of light from the cracked door above. Even with the high ceilings, there's somehow an atmosphere of claustrophobia, and a cold shiver runs down your spine as you survey the parquet floors. The wooden wainscoting sits in silent testimony to the horrors that have transpired over the years. Despite the polished surfaces, there's a heavy musk within each air particle that could never be scrubbed away. You can almost see the shadows etched by the past and recall the role that you once played among them. Right, well, we're inside Atticus's orphanage where he grew up. But we'll explore this in more detail next time. So I'm just going to say thank you very much for watching this episode of Sovereign Syndicate. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that'd be fantastic. Leave me a comment as well. I'm always great to hear what you guys are thinking about the games that I'm playing. The various storylines so far, which ones interested you the most? I'd be interested to find out. And, if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you could do that as well. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.